Everyone, welcome back to the OpenShift Bootcamp series. In this video, we will learn about the difference between or a comparison between Kubernetes and OpenShift. Please note, during the course or during the videos, when I say OpenShift, I mean just the OKD or the OpenShift, so do not get confused with that word. This video is independent of and does not represent Red Hat Inc. in any way. Red Hat does not officially sponsor, approve or endorse this content. There is no promotional content in this video either. So, what are the major differences between Kubernetes and OpenShift? Let's see. So the first one, project and a product. Basically, comparing OpenShift and Kubernetes is very simple, as Kubernetes is open source project and OpenShift is an enterprise open source product. But again, OpenShift is fully certified Kubernetes in the backend. OKD is the open source version, which is upstream project for Red Hat OpenShift. We can imagine the difference between an engine and a car. OpenShift is not an alternative to Kubernetes, but OpenShift is built on top of Kubernetes. Kubernetes was originally developed and designed by Google, but OpenShift is developed by Red Hat. OpenShift has added a lot of missing features in Kubernetes and made it like a ready-to-use container platform. So we have CAS and PAS. So Kubernetes is more like a container as a service platform, or CAS, as Kubernetes alone does not provide any support for building the container image it runs. Users need to install additional tools and plugins to build container images, keep the container images, etc. On the other hand, OpenShift is a fully featured platform to deploy and manage your containerized applications and hence called Platform as a Service, or PaaS. OpenShift has built-in tools to build the images, internal registry to store the images, and OpenShift pipelines for cloud-native CI/CD operations. Yeah, a lot of features. So the next one is Web Console. Yes, both OpenShift and Kubernetes have the web GUI, but we know the limitations, pros and cons. Kubernetes dashboard will not be installed by default. You need to install it additionally as needed. And this is a general purpose dashboard, and you have many other choices of dashboards and management tools to manage Kubernetes. OpenShift Web Console is developer friendly and very easy to use. You can do almost all operations from Web Console itself, including monitoring, observing pipelines, image builds, application status overview, etc. The next one is command line. Both Kubernetes and OpenShift have super strong command line utilities. When we use kubectl for managing Kubernetes clusters, the OC utility complements the kubectl with extra features and simplicity. The next one is workflow automation. We all know that we will have complex workflows to deploy containerized applications in Kubernetes platforms. We need to build the container images, integrate with the testing workflows, deploy to dev or production, then monitor and feedback the application lifecycle. Most of these operations are manual in Kubernetes, or you need to deploy and integrate additional tools for such automated tasks. On the other hand, OpenShift has inbuilt features and tools to support end-to-end application deployment and lifecycle management. For example, there are pre-created templates available in OpenShift, and you can use those for spinning up an application very quickly. Using sourced images or S2I technology, you can deploy an application from your source code without telling about the container details. OpenShift will detect the source code language, then choose a builder image to build the container image, and then deploy the application using the created container image. Also, you have built-in CI/CD tools to create your pipelines and workflows. Let's talk about application deployment and CI/CD. As I mentioned just now, deploying an application in Kubernetes is not that pretty straightforward. I am not talking about a simple Nginx pod, but a full stack application with multiple workflows. Features in OpenShift such as S2I, inbuilt CI/CD, templates and catalogs, etc. will make the application deployment very easy. When we talk about the public cloud or multiple platforms, we have some differences and we have some similarities. You can deploy Kubernetes on most of the cloud platforms, but those managed Kubernetes are different from one to another in terms of features and support. You have options like Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service or EKS, Azure Kubernetes Service or AKS, or Google Kubernetes Engine or GKE, and IBM Cloud Kubernetes Service or CKS, and other managed Kubernetes services from DigitalOcean, Linode, etc. You have similar offering from Red Hat for OpenShift called Hosted or Managed OpenShift, but the OpenShift platform, user experience, and features are the same on all supported cloud platforms and private clouds. We have a detailed video on managed OpenShift clusters and offerings. Please check the video description to watch that. The next one is supported operating systems. Ideally, you can deploy Kubernetes on most of the general purpose Linux operating systems such as CentOS, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, Ubuntu, Debian, Fedora, and other Linux flavors. But for OpenShift, you need Red Hat Enterprise Linux RHEL or Red Hat Enterprise Linux Core OS. And if you are using OKD, then alternatives like Fedora, CentOS, etc. You must use RHCOS or Core OS machines for the OpenShift control plane, and you can use either RHCOS or RHEL for compute machines. Next, we talk about the cluster installation. You can install Kubernetes on any platform of your choice. It can be public cloud, private cloud, bare metal, your workstation or laptop, or even a small Raspberry Pi board. And there are many tools and methods available to install Kubernetes such as KubeADM, KubeSpray, KOPS, or you can use managed Kubernetes services from public cloud like GKE, EKS, AKS, many other things. On the other hand, OpenShift has some limitations in terms of platform, support, requirements, etc. You need some minimum amount of resources to deploy OpenShift clusters, and it's not easy to deploy in home labs. Trust me. Do not need to worry, as we have other solutions for home labs and practicing. The OpenShift installation is pretty simple if you are using the installer provisioned infrastructure or IPI method. The installer will take care of creating all the virtual machines and other resources in the public cloud, private cloud, or bare metal platform. You can also follow the user provisioned infrastructure or UPI method if you have the machines already provisioned with your own customizations and standards. Okay, now let's talk about the development environment. When we talk about the development environment, we can install and use Minikube on a laptop or workstation very quickly. The installation is pretty straightforward and you will have the same features of Kubernetes cluster. For an OpenShift development environment, you have a similar option called Code Ready Containers or CRC, and installation is also pretty straightforward. Please note, the Minishift was serving the same purpose, but from OpenShift 4 version onwards, you need to use CRC. If you have difficulty setting up your own development environment, then you can use the free service from Red Hat, which is called Developer Sandbox for Red Hat OpenShift. We have a detailed video on that, how to request and use Developer Sandbox for Red Hat OpenShift. Please check the video description for those details. Now, another major difference. It's not major, but still you need to learn this one. We have namespaces and projects. Kubernetes namespace is a method to divide and isolate Kubernetes cluster resources between different users of the cluster. You can create multiple namespaces based on projects or the application environment. In OpenShift, a project is a Kubernetes namespace with additional annotations, that means with added features and functionalities. So you can use kubectl get namespace in Kubernetes, but in OpenShift you use OC get projects. Let's talk about the container images, how you can manage container images in Kubernetes and OpenShift. In Kubernetes, you have the responsibilities to handle your container images for deployment. There is no internal registry in Kubernetes at the moment, and you need to pull your images from an external registry. It can be an enterprise registry or your own private registry. But in OpenShift, you have an internal registry, and OpenShift manages the lifecycle of your container images. Image streams are named references to container images. The image stream feature in OpenShift helps to handle multiple versions of your container images with tags. You can configure builds and deployments to watch an image stream for notifications when new images are added and react by performing a build or deployment respectively. No need to worry, we will learn about this image stream, internal registry, private registry, everything in the upcoming videos. Next one is security. Kubernetes security rules are flexible but strong enough to meet the standard security requirements. On the other hand, OpenShift security policies are very strict compared to Kubernetes. You have to learn the security policies and apply it properly to deploy your application. Yes, it's a bit difficult, but you know it's more secure. When we talk about networking is a big topic, but basically Kubernetes use CNI plugins for its networking, and we use third-party plugins to achieve this. OpenShift uses a software-defined network or SDN called OpenShift SDN, which configures an overlay network using Open vSwitch. Let's talk about ingress and routes. You have multiple network traffic management in Kubernetes, and let's talk about the ingress here. Ingress manages the external access to the service in a cluster with support for SSL, load balancing, virtual hosting, etc. In OpenShift, the same purpose can be achieved using the resource called routes, but with additional capabilities such as splitting traffic between multiple backends, sticky sessions, and many other additional features. Okay, what about the support? As we all know, Kubernetes is an open source project. You can deploy it for free on your own choice of platforms. Even though the active community is quite large, enterprise will not go for unsupported product. Yes, we all know that. This is where the managed Kubernetes and supported Kubernetes flavors are useful, but still the bugs and fixes are depending on the community stream. For OpenShift, still the support is more or less the same, but Red Hat OpenShift is coming with the enterprise support, and organizations tend to go for such solutions for their critical application platforms. That's all for the Kubernetes versus OpenShift comparison, and you will learn about OpenShift more in the upcoming videos in the OpenShift Bootcamp series. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel to get all the latest videos and other courses. Thank you for watching. See you next time with another video. Stay tuned.